My best friend stood up at my wedding reception to give a toast about how she saved my life, and I made sure it was the last time she ever told that story. For 2 years, everyone believed that Emma was the reason I survived my darkest period. I was 26 years old. She was 27. Every mutual friend treated her like a hero, and every new person I met heard how Emma talked me down when I wanted to end everything. I smiled through all of it because I thought maybe I had remembered wrong. The reception was exactly what I expected. Emma arrived in a dress that matched my bridesmaids and positioned herself in every photo. She hugged my mother and whispered something that made Mom squeeze her hand. She told my husband, "Take care of her. I know what it took to get her here." When the toast began, my maid of honor went first, then my father, and then Emma stood up without being announced. "I need to say something," she started, her voice thick with emotion. 3 years ago, I got a phone call at 2 a.m. that changed both of our lives. The room leaned forward. I answered and heard sobbing. It was my best friend telling me she couldn't do this anymore. My husband reached for my hand under the table. "I stayed on that phone for 6 hours," Emma continued, tears streaming. "I talked her through the worst night of her life. I drove to her apartment and sat with her until sunrise." She looked at me. I made her promise to get help. I went to her first therapy appointment. I called her every single day for months. My mother was openly crying. Someone whispered, "Oh my God," quietly. "And now," Emma's voice broke, "I get to watch her marry the love of her life. I get to see her happy." She raised her glass. "To second chances, to friendship, to choosing to stay." The room erupted in applause, and several people were wiping their eyes. Then something that had been living in my chest for 2 years finally forced its way out. I stood up, and Emma's smile faltered. "That's a beautiful story," I said. "Emma, can you tell everyone what time you actually answered your phone that night?" Emma's face froze. "What?" I pulled out my phone. "Because I have the call log right here. You didn't answer. I called you 11 times starting at 1:47 a.m. You sent every call to voicemail." The room went completely silent. I scrolled through my messages. "Here's the text I sent at 3:22 a.m. Please, Emma, I need you. I don't know what to do." I looked up. "You texted back at 9:15 the next morning." "Sorry, phone was dead. What's up?" My husband stared at Emma now. "And when I told you what happened, that I spent the night alone, you said, 'Wow, that's heavy. I'm really hungover. Can we talk later?'" My maid of honor gasped. "You want to know who actually answered at 2 a.m.? My cousin Rachel at table 3. She drove 45 minutes in the middle of the night. She sat with me until sunrise. She took me to my first appointment." Rachel was crying, and people turned to look at her. "You showed up 3 days later with coffee and said you wished I had called you. When I said I did, you said you must have been sleeping. Then 6 months later, I heard you at a party telling someone you saved my life." Emma was backing away from the microphone. "And I let you tell that story because I thought maybe you needed to believe you were there. Maybe it helped you feel less guilty about the 11 missed calls. But you don't get to tell it at my wedding." My father was looking at Emma with an expression I'd never seen. Emma grabbed her purse, her hands shaking. She looked around for someone to defend her. No one moved. I picked up the champagne glass she'd raised. "You know what, Emma? I'm glad you told everyone about second chances, because now you get one too."